What is up? Welcome back to the hashtag LockBoss show and giveaway. I'm PJ, and I tell you what, I'm excited to be here with you today. We have a full show coming up, including our special guest, Eduardo from JMA. So here in just a few moments, we'll get him brought up on screen and chat with them for a little bit. I'm really excited to hear what Eduardo and JMA is up to nowadays. But of course, before we do that, I'm going to be drinking a Topo Chico, and just wanted to say cheers to everybody out there who's drinking a Topo or your favorite beverage of choice. So cheers to you. Man, I tell you what, the first sip on a nice cold Topo Chico is absolutely wonderful, I tell you. I tell you what. Now, of course, also, I wanted to bring up here for you is the link for the after party. So let me go ahead and slide that right in here. So, of course, after our show is over in Jimmy J Iowa Lock Docs Discord, we do a little bit after party. So if you want to come hang out, talk a little bit about really whatever you would like to talk about, you certainly can. Everyone watching is welcome. So, man, that's what we have going on. Okay, we've got some ice cold Dr. Pepper going on. Okay, good stuff. Good stuff. And that's good. All right. Well, hey, let me go ahead and this is what we're going to do is we're going to go over the post of the week. Actually, two posts because we missed one last week because those pesky slides weren't working. We're going to go over the comment of the week. And then we're going to be hanging out with our friend Eduardo from JMA. So, with that being said, let's go ahead. Let's get right into it. Here we go. LockBoss season 3.17 post of the week. This one comes from Will B. Will says, "Hey, everyone at CLK. I appreciate you all very much. Words can't describe how thankful I am to win and get some goodies. I will put the shirts to good use in the beanie once it gets cold again. Also, really love the screwdriver. It's extremely handy in a pinch. Stickers, a candle, air freshener. You guys are the best." Well, hey, Will B, thank you very much for being a part of the community and for commenting on the videos. All right, next up, this one comes from the one and only Jimmy J Iowa Lock Doc. He says, "Hey, gang, I always feel honored to be part of the LockBoss community and lucky to win. Thanks for the cool gear. It always makes my day when I open a swag shipping bag decorated with CLK packaging tape. Almost better than Christmas." Well, hey, Jimmy J, of course, we value you. We're happy you're around, and thanks for being a part and so much contribution that you give and hosting the after party. I mean, man, it's honestly been great getting to know you as well as a fellow F1 fan. All right, LockBoss comment of the week. Here we go. This one comes from Bobby Kendrick. He says, "Leave it to the Lock Father to find another unique way to advertise and not cost a lot of money. Great job, Pete. Thanks for sharing with us." Absolutely, you're right there, Bobby. The Lockfather always comes up with fun and interesting things, and of course, we'll have him on here in the next couple weeks, having him spill the beans on how it's going with the trailer. But Julio, as we hop into our main guest here, Julio, if you can put on some good tunes for us, because I need to give the one and only Eduardo with JMA an intro. So, all right, here we go. Got the intro music going, Julio. Nice work there. All right, so our guest today is Eduardo from JMA. And I tell you what, Eduardo brings a vast knowledge of lock or key blanks and all the knowledge that comes with that, and lock and key cutting machines. I tell you what, and he also is a fellow F1 fan as well. So without further ado, here we go, Eduardo with JMA. Eduardo, how's things?
Oh my God, man! I'm flattered, man. I'm happy to be with you. Jesus, man, I just love the face you put on that intro, man. It's interesting. It's like you're like solving a mystery all of a sudden.
I tell you what, I mean, if I had to vote, I'd make sure that never saw the light of day again. Honestly, it's like, what? Where did that even come from? Is my guess. But man, Eduardo, I tell you what, happy to have you on live. It was what, a month and a half ago. You actually came here and visited. And due to your flight being delayed and all that, you weren't able to be on live. So I appreciate you being able to come.
Yeah, we got to thank our folks in DFW and American Airlines for me to get there so late.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy. Sorry I missed it. I for sure I was looking forward to being on that show, but we can't control certain things, PJ. So.
It's true. But you know what? You're here now. And, and the truth is you spent quite a bit of time in this room with me that next day talking all things key blanks and key machines and all the fun. So, I mean, I think we still got our money's worth. We just didn't get to have you here live with us.
I get, yeah. When you actually asked me again if I wanted to be in that show, right away I had to say yes, man. I thought I owe it to you, and I'm happy to be in the show today, man.
Absolutely. So first, a few things here. Of course, for all of you watching, if you have any questions for Eduardo and or JMA, go ahead and throw them in the comment section. And as we get going here in a few minutes, we'll answer any that you may have, or at least attempt to answer any that you might have. So Eduardo, if we could first, though, I just want to start. There might be some people watching now or watching later that have no idea who the one and only Eduardo is. And so I would love, could you give just a little history on JMA and also you, and like how long have you been doing it for, all that fun stuff?
Well, JMA, let me start with the company. JMA is a company that's been around since 1942. So this is a Spanish-based company. It's actually based in Mondragon, Spain, up in the northern region where the Basque Country is located. We started making keys right around World War II because, well, those were the days where there was a lot of need in Europe, basically. We had key blank manufacturers in Italy that couldn't keep up with supply. And most of those customers that couldn't get their keys started looking for options. And JMA started developing those keys for those specific needs they were having. So one thing led to another, and JMA started growing in Europe, basically. We started expanding operations all across the continent and, being present in several other countries as well. I don't want to just bore you with all these details and dates and whatnot, but then after a few years has gone by, JMA Mexico was born, or one of the biggest key blank plants that the JMA group has in the world was set in Mexico to serve basically one of the biggest lock and access control manufacturers, because Asa Abloy was based in Mexico as well. So we started making keys for them. This is back in 1996 specifically. So then we started developing the plant as we did back in Europe. And one thing led to another. We started expanding operations all across the continent as well, opening up a branch. The first branch we opened was in the U.S. This is in 2004. And, close to about 10, 15 years later, we set up distribution centers in Colombia and Peru. So I think JMA has a pretty compact operation, efficient operation that serves different markets all across the world. And it's interesting because we're still serving a lot of keys to the rest of the world in general. So, and as for me, I started working with JMA back in 2009. It's been almost 25 years that 15 years that I've been working with the company. Got really familiar with key blanks overall. It's not easy. It wasn't an easy task, to be quite honest, to understand keys and their keyways and their differences and whatnot. But it's been fun, man. This is a profession that you need to like it. You need to love it. I think.
Yeah.
A lot of learning came from locksmiths, basically. I had the opportunity to attend different trade shows in the U.S., trade shows in Mexico, trade shows in South America as well. And they shared a lot of knowledge. This is basically where you get all these the teachings from locksmiths is pretty substantial. It's pretty important for you to learn. And even when you jump into the catalogs and try to make differences between keys and whatnot, it's important to get the feedback from locksmiths overall. And I think that's where the most of the knowledge I got right now came from. So that's in a nutshell what happens.
Absolutely. Yeah. And your role with JMA USA is?
I'm currently the general manager JMA USA, and we basically coordinate the operations in the US, Canada, and the Caribbean. And everything is, I'm heading that operation here. And just happy to be around, man. Happy to be part of this interesting group.
Absolutely. So yeah, you even said a few things that I didn't know. So I mean, did I hear you right when you said that the factory in Mexico is the largest JMA?
Right now, JMA. Well, it's not the largest. Our largest plant is the one we have set in headquarters in Spain.
Okay.
But the second largest plant we have is the one we have in Mexico. Yes.
Okay. Awesome. And it was put there in '96 originally. It was set in
'96, yes.
To service Asa Abloy.
Exactly. We had a plant in Guadalajara, Mexico. They had needs. In fact, it was Asa Abloy that asked us to set a plant over there so that we can continue serving their needs, because obviously Asa Abloy require keys to finish their processes and whatnot. They have locks and cylinders and processes that needed keys. So JMA was there to just basically fulfill that need.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. And then so about 8 years later is when then you opened up the USA.
The JMA. US as a branch, exactly.
Yes. And I was one of the kind of first customers, wasn't I? I mean, top first 10.
I don't recall seeing you around, man. Maybe you were in diapers in 2004.
Oh my gosh, that's good.
No, but you've been a loyal customer for quite some time, PJ. I got to give you that. It's interesting. The operation and the commercial relationship we have with CLK is really, really interesting. It's I think is one of the most even relationships we have right now.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good. So, I have a bunch of different questions for you, but I just want to start off with just acknowledging something that's pretty cool about JMA, which is I have not yet, and I know we can't predict the future. Okay. I do know that, but I have not yet got any sort of surcharge or price increase from you guys this year. So I would actually.
You didn't get the email?
What? Hold on now.
Oh my God, we sent it a month ago.
Yeah. But it's been a pretty wild time so far, and I just want to say I think it's really cool. I don't know maybe if one's coming tomorrow and the joke's on me, but at least up to now, it's been really cool that I haven't had to pay someone to update several hundred or 1,000 key blanks. So I appreciate that.
No, well, don't mention it. I think overall, well, there's no way to hide this, but we're facing difficult times. I think in general, economy is not what everyone expected to be this year. So understanding that and understanding the struggle that many of our distributors and customers have, we try to emphasize with them in a way to become a bit more present, a bit more, if you want to call it diligent, and be there for them. And I think our strategy basically is to, like I said, is to become a good partner, a good sales partner. It's not just a relationship between vendor and customer. I think our intent is basically to be that partner with all our distributors and try to make it easy on them as we move forward. Obviously, like you said, there's so many things we cannot control. If tomorrow we end up facing, a different challenge and that forces us to, adjust our strategy, then we have to, and we must do it that way, because at the end of the day, I think it has to be beneficial for everybody to serve this market the way it should be. So at this moment, JMA is sensitive towards our customers' needs, and we don't see any reason why right now to boost or change our current strategy. But hopefully that remains in place, moving forward.
Sure. Well, I mean, so something I knew when I came and visited you down there in 2019, and do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember you wanted to see the Cowboys, man. I don't know why, but who cares?
Yeah, he's an Eagles fan, bless his heart, but it's one of those that something that I really noticed when I was down there is like how efficient everything is. I mean, JMA is a privately owned company, right? And
Yes.
It's very efficient. And I was pretty blown away with that. As a matter of fact, you guys had a bunch of kind of techniques in your warehouse that I immediately adopted here, and because I was like, man, I did go to public school, Eduardo, in Idaho. And so when I was down there, and there's no warehouse school. So when I went down there and I saw yours and some of the stuff you guys did, and since you guys warehouse key blanks and I warehouse key blanks, I was like, oh my gosh, there's some things here we can pick up. So I have to really thank you for being able to, allow me to kind of see a lot of the operation. And then I was like, hey, is it okay if I copy, So
listen, I think you and I talked, I don't know how many times you and I spoke about this, but our market demands efficiency. That's basically it. It's in general, we should consider a key blank a commodity, and as so, it needs to be managed that way as a commodity in general. What is a commodity? Well, a commodity is a product that you will buy every time you need it. So it's not something you can advertise and just put a big billboard outside on the street to tell everybody, oh, this is a JMA or this is the other key or whatever the case may be. So, people will go out there and buy the key no matter the brand the key has. At the end of the day, the final consumer buys what they find when it comes to a key blank. It's not familiar with the brand specifically. And knowing that and understanding how a commodity works, efficiency is its own environment. It's what revolves around the product. And listen, if we were into selling software or selling computers where the profit goes sky high, then, we could have an army of 40,000 people working in the warehouse. You know what I'm saying? Giving more jobs, expanding, whatnot. But right now, a key blank is just tight as it is. It's not something that will make you the wealthiest man in the country just by selling 1 million keys. You know what I'm saying? So that's really important. We got to keep it up. Every person that we add into our staff needs to understand that expense is something that we looked after pretty close, and we don't allow overspending. We don't allow certain things that might make the operation a lot comfortable. We just want to keep it efficient overall.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's very obvious seeing the operation and all of that, and how many conversations we've had, we're the same way here, right? I don't get paid to store keys.
Exactly.
And so, and neither do you. So,
Not at
Yeah,
all.
and the funny part is when you really think about it, is it's literally brass that you guys mill to keyways,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And so, brass
We had an experience. Let me share this with you. We had a mentor that he just retired. He was in Spain, and he told me there was an experience that he had. He was visiting Brazil, and he met with the owners of the key blank manufacturer in Brazil. I think it was Chaves Gold. I think that was the name of the company. And while he was talking to this owner, they started sharing ideas and thoughts and experiences and whatnot. And then all of a sudden, JMA said, "Well, it'll be fun to have you around. I can give you a tour." And everybody stared at each other, and they said, "Look, he's your competitor here in Brazil, right?" He turns around and says, "Yeah, I know. We can give him a tour either way." And says, "Why would you give him a tour? We're making keys. It's not like we're not enriching your plutonium here. It's simple. We're just stamping keys. We're making keys. As simple as that. It's not a big deal." And moving forward, we actually gave this guy a tour in Mexico. We actually showed him how we were making keys in there. So that's how transparent this company is, in other words.
Yeah. So speaking of that, so if I ever go down to the Mexico factory, which you've invited me several times, I just don't have a passport at the moment. I need to get one.
Yeah.
And I think I've been telling you that for like 3 years or
Okay.
5. But if I go down there, could I film some of the stuff showing?
I guess so. I don't see a problem. Yeah.
Yes.
That should be something that you could address with the plant director over there, and maybe he will allow you to tip a few things over there. Yeah.
That Mike?
Mike is the right person. Yes, he's the one that says yay or nay in that realm.
I'll ask him very nicely with a lot of pleasantries.
He'll be happy to have you, man.
Yeah. It'd be fun. Okay, so I want to talk about a couple other things here. I know I don't want to keep you forever. I know. First of all, I just want to say thank you for being here, and I know it's past 5 o'clock where you're at, right? So I appreciate you hanging out with us.
Always a blast, brother.
But so there's a newer product that you guys, well, first of all, I want to talk about the JMA, the Nomad Go, right? As you know, I absolutely love those machines. We've sold a lot of them. People love them. I've even seen in the comments here as they've been talking about those. So First of all, JMA makes very nice key machines. I mean, I'll verbally fight anybody who says something different, okay? I mean, they are excellent machines. And so with that being said, you guys have recently come out with a new machine that's a high security machine that's called the JMA Move.
Yeah.
And so
this is, let me just jump in there for a minute. This is a line of key cutting machines that are pretty simple. We're trying to stick with the simplicity of providing the right tools for the locksmiths to have. I know there's a lot of automated machines out there that makes the job a lot easier, and then the pricing and everything, it's quite attractive. But also, we know there's actually a good niche in the market that requires this kind of tools as well. These machines can fit perfectly in that specific segment. Our intention is to bring a line that is pretty efficient price-wise, aggressive price-wise, and try to focused on keeping it simple as well. It's not something that we're not trying to bring something that will require any kind of training or anything like that. It's just a simple tool that you will get right away. It'll be easy to even transport, to move around. That's why, I don't know if there's, you probably didn't notice this, but the wording that we're using on every machine is it's in relation to a thing that keeps moving. It keeps moving from one point to another. Right? Nomad, and then move, and then so forth. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Nomad Go. So it's something that offers, in a way, a dynamic situation that we know many locksmiths have. There's a lot of locksmiths that are on the move most of the times. They have vans. They have a locksmith business that is moving constantly, and they basically value space overall. So this machines, this line specifically focuses on that, and that's what we wanted to bring, something that resonates with their needs. And it's just an economic, it's a pretty commercial driven line that sympathizes with the customers or the locksmith in this case needs overall.
Absolutely. And I think, do you know of anyone else who's cut a key with the Nomad Go on a dock before?
I don't know, man. Maybe they were cutting keys for a submarine or something. But yeah, that was some good ad, man. I gotta give it to you, man. Everybody in Spain saw it; they loved it, man.
That's good. That's good. But when it comes to the move, so is it safe to say that the quality that people have come to expect with the JMA Nomad and the Nomad Go, that they can expect that same level of quality with the JMA Move, which is a high security duplicator?
Most definitely. All our machines bring the highest warranty range in the market. This is the only line. JMA is the only one that gives warranties up to a 5-year warranty. No one else gives you a 5-year warranty. So they're all the machines that we make. They're all made in Spain. Highest standards, highest quality standards are being used every time we make a machine. Mm-hmm. In fact, our strategy is so focused on backing our customers that just in case something goes wrong, again, we're talking parts and machines, they don't have a word of honor, Mm-hmm. But if you bump into a situation where the machine doesn't work, or you bump into a situation that machine didn't perform as you expect, you will get a brand new machine right there and then. You don't have to wait.
Wow.
You don't have to wait for you to send over the machine, and then we'll swap and we'll send you a machine in the meantime, so we'll just grab a new machine, one machine that we tested, and then we'll send it over to you right away, knowing that we understanding basically that this is a tool that every locksmith needs, and if they're sending us their machine for service, or there's a technical problem with it, we know that business probably went to a halt. So our idea is to just basically, serve them the best way we can by sending a new machine right there at that moment. So that's how our quality works around that.
That's awesome. That's really, I did not know that, but I also know that the amount of problems that we have had with Nomads is essentially,
close to none.
Yeah. I can't really think of one off the top of my head. I'm guessing we probably have something, but yeah, it's not common. So it's really cool that, it's one of those things that you really know. And I always tell this to vendors, when we're sitting here meeting with them, and I'm always like, you can tell me what you want about your products, but show me your warranty and repair process, because that will tell you everything. It will tell me everything I need to know about how you really feel about your product. Right?
Exactly.
And so the fact that you do that is pretty awesome. Now, I've heard maybe a rumor though that they might be the JMA Move might be going on sale soon. Is that something that they might be?
Yeah, we're cooking right now strategy to push this machine. I'll give you the details. I think you probably in your audience will hear about this cool strategy by next week.
Cool.
My intention is to come up pretty strong with that machine, because I know, like I said, we notice in our radar that there's a good niche that we can serve, because there's opportunities for the machine to develop, to bring, to become that interesting tool for most of your customers, and understanding that my intention is to develop something that makes sense in that specific market.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's cool. If it's anywhere close to what I've been hearing, though, I think it's going to be pretty awesome. So if you're in the market for a high security duplicator, then man, keep those eyes peeled for the JMA move, right? But well, perfect. Hey, I know we're getting long on time here, Eduardo. If it's okay with you, I'd like to kind of go through, do a rapid fire Q&A with some questions.
Go for it. Go for it, man.
Let's go. What is the quality difference between StradTech and JMA automotive keys?
Well, we manufacture keys for StradTech as a matter of fact. JMA is right now one of the biggest OEM key blank manufacturers in the world. So we actually make many of those StradTech keys that everybody knows about. So
wow.
In other words, one of the things that we do is that JMA is a company that aligns with the OEMs. You know, we're talking about StradTech, Asa Abloy, Schlage, Legion, those companies. We align towards their quality specs, asking exactly where they ask exactly what they expect from a key, and those specs gets transferred to the aftermarket too. So in other words, if you're getting a JMA, you're getting the OEM key specifically to the key. You're getting exactly the same key blank.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess that sums that up pretty clear.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Why is it so hard to get JMA Y11 through Y14 blanks in 250 packs? You guys are the only ones that make ones that work on this imported stuff. So I guess there's a question and then a praise.
Well, thank you so much for that. I don't know. We have a lot of those keys in stock. We got to figure out why you're not getting the 250s. Most of the times I identify those keys to be sold in 50s most of the time. So if there's any need for us to start making them into 50s, then so be it. We'll start making them into 50 as well.
Yeah, I think Y11s are made in 250s.
Yeah.
But I don't know about the other ones, but yeah. All right, let's see here. Maybe an odd question. Does JMA offer a catalog similar to Beep? If so, where can we get it? No, Beep, but you get it.
They're good people, man. I know them too, man. Yeah. So, yeah, if you log in JMAUSA.com, there's a space there that you can click on where you can download all the catalogs that we offer. We have from transponder catalogs to machine catalogs to key blank catalogs as well. And there's this catalog, the new catalog we came up with has a breakdown at the end of the catalog where you can find the cross references for our codes. So in other words, if you're looking for that specific key blank that our competitors manage, and that key only by their code, you can find that code cross-reference at the end, the final section of the catalog. So yeah, you can find them.
Yep, and we also on our website, if you want the digital one, go to JMA's website. If you want the printed big, thick catalog, you just search it on our website. You'll be able to find it.
And then if you want me, PJ, we have boxes here with catalogs, printed catalogs. I'll send you a few boxes there right away,
cool.
So you can start serving those as well.
Awesome, thank you. Another question: how are the neon key blanks selling?
Oh man, I think you're the best person to answer that question.
Yeah, they sell for us very good. I mean, people absolutely. They're so bright. As you know, they were so bright. I did a video on them because I'm like, these are like legit neon keys.
Yeah, we love them. This is a line, and I gotta be honest. This is a line that was offered. We developed this line probably about 4 years ago, maybe less. I'm not exactly sure. Don't quote me on the date side of it. But when I first got my hands around them, I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? It's interesting, but the way we were presenting those keys, it was quite interesting because the idea was to give them in 50 boxes assorted colors. And I was like, is this a good idea to follow? Maybe not, because most of the times when we had color keys, offered, like, the color plus, the color plastic color keys and all that kind of stuff, many people will ask me for a specific color, not assorted colors in general. So, but the mix of colors inside the box, when you spread them out across the desk, it'll give you this impression of bright, shiny neon keys. It was interesting. So there was a day that we attended this trade show. We set up the table, we set up the machines, we got everything displayed the right way. And then we bump into a 50 box of neon keys that we didn't know what to do with it. And for some reason, Adrian, who works with JMA, decided to scatter all the keys that we have in there all across the table, and people started loving them. We got a lot of locksmiths stopping by the booth just to ask us questions about those neon keys.
Wow.
And that was history, man. We started like selling. We got a lot of orders for them, and it's been interesting. Many distributors love them. It's, it was an interesting story. It was
They're definitely a good seller. We have a comment here. Love my Nomad.
Thank you. That's good to know.
One. I sell a lot of JMA neon keys. People love them. There we go. Let's see here. JMA needs to get CLK set up with the gumdrop neuter bow keys. George, fun fact, but Eduardo and I have been working together on our own neuter bow style keys, haven't we, on a special little project? So stay tuned on that one, because that'll be coming.
Interesting. Now you're getting the pressure, PJ.
I know. I really am. I'm getting it from JMA now, and I'm getting it from. Let's see. Keep going here, Eduardo, really quick. What does JMA stand for?
Well, that's interesting. That's an acronym for a name. This is, JMA is just belongs to a group called the Altoona Group. Okay, this is how the group is known worldwide. JMA is one of the founders' name. His name is Jose Maria Altoona. That's where the JMA comes from, basically. It's the acronym.
JMA.
Exactly. Jose
first,
Maria
middle, and
Altoona.
last.
Yeah.
I feel like you told me that, but I forgot that. But yeah, okay. So I knew Alternative Group because it always says it on the box, but that comes from JMA, from the founder's name. Very cool. Eduardo, does JMA have a key museum or anything fun like that if we're in the area and wanted to visit?
Not in the U.S. No, not in the U.S. In the U.S., we only have the distribution center, and it's boring. It's boring to visit. It's just a warehouse with a bunch of keys boxed and racked. But we have the plant in Mexico. They don't usually do tours most of the times, because there's, for safekeeping our visitors, there's a lot of knives and sharpening tools that we use to make keys. Again, we're dealing with metals. So in order to cut those metals is kind of trickery. In fact, every time you visit the plant, you must wear goggles and workers' boots so that you don't bump into a problem inside the plant. So right now, at the moment, we don't have any museum or something like that, but I'll make sure I share the news. I'll share the concern so that someone decides to start doing something interesting for you guys. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, we have a few more here, Eduardo. Let's get through them real quick, and I'll let you get off here. So, is that machine cut motorcycle keys? Yeah, so I can answer that one for you, Eduardo. So if it's a normal cylindrical style key blank, the Nomad will cut it. If it's a high security style, then the Move
will do it. Yeah, we'll take care of it. Yeah.
All right, let's see here. Let me go through a few more. I would like to get a flat cutting wheel for the Nomad. Is it available? Is there a flat steel style cutter kit?
There is. That is something we bring from headquarters, because again, most of the keys that we cut in the U.S. are brass made keys. So yes, we do have that kind of cutter. We can bring it over and get you served. Not a problem. Yeah.
The JMA Go, will it duplicate best SFIC keys?
No, it won't. Not at the moment. The best. This is what they call the. I forgot the expression. The core, the interchangeable core.
Yep.
Is that the one?
Yeah, like a best A key,
Exactly, yeah. No, there's a specific jaw that we're developing for the Berna, though. We're working on developing a jaw that can cut the best keys, but at the moment, we're still in that testing mode for that specific machine. But stand by, we'll show you that machine eventually.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I think that, now, I mean, technically, if you want to use like little adapters, like paper clips, different things, like, you just got to get it right. But I mean, it's not like it won't do it. It's just making that key sit true in the jaw is always kind of the trick.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But very cool. And then Keybeard, I just ordered one. So it looks like he just ordered he ordered something, but well, perfect. Sounds good, Eduardo. Hey, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know it's late your time. I'll kind of let you go.
It's always a blast, man. Not a problem.
For everybody, if I didn't get to your question or whatever, I missed it, I do apologize. I'll try to get Eduardo back on more often because, man, he loves talking about keys. I love talking about keys. Yeah. So, I mean, we can
spend 2 hours talking about them.
We can. Absolutely, Eduardo. Hey, thanks for coming on. Thanks for hanging out. And I'm sure we'll be talking soon. So
thank you so much, PJ. Thanks to everybody in your audience for having me. And listen, anytime, man. I'm more than happy to be in your show and to talk to everybody and clear out whatever clouds they might have.
Very good. Well, yeah. And then in the meantime, hopefully in the next week or so, you'll hear about the JMA move.
And the special
sale going out there will be good. And it looks like good stuff. So, all right, Eduardo, hey, have a good evening and consider no longer being a Eagles fan and picking up the Cowboys, maybe.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be, that's going to be a tough one, but I'll think about it. Okay.
Good stuff. All right. Well, hey, take care. We'll see you.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yep. We'll see you. All right, everybody. Good stuff, man. Great. Absolutely great having Eduardo on and hanging out here. There we go. Perfect. All right. So with that being said, let's get on to this week's lucky winners. So now before we do, though, let's first make sure we get on the same page on what to do if you win. You're going to want to email us your shipping info to sales@CLKsupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989 and we'll send your gifts soon. How to win. Comment on our videos with the hashtag LockBoss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's videos for our weekly giveaway. No purchase necessary. All right. With that being said, let's get into this week's winners. Here we go. Winner number 1 is Zach Smith, 5516. Congratulations. Winner number 2 is John Falk, 955. Congrats, John. Winner number 3 is Key_Beard. Keybeard, congratulations. Winner number 4 is Black Smoke Joe, 5827. Congrats. And of course, last but not least, winner number 5 this week is Black Smoke Joe, 5827. Congratulations. And let's see here. Oh, that was winner number 4. Yep. And then winner number 5 is JT Shelton Locksmith. Congratulations very much. Very cool. Well, guys, I tell you what, that is the show for today. Let's head on over here to the comments really quick. Let's see here. Let's see. looking through, talking about the A1 plug spinner. I tell you what, we still sell so many of those. It's just crazy, actually. Very, very good. Well, I tell you what, that brings us to the end of the show this week. Man, it's been great hanging out with everybody. Great having Eduardo on, and it's so much fun to talk to, hanging out, and man, think about that type of conversation, but think about like Eduardo and I having it for like 5 or 8 hours straight. So, man, we just like keys, I guess. I guess we just like keys. Let's see here. Will you be selling the Nomad flat cutter? Yeah, absolutely. I will get with Eduardo and try to figure out, is it already, does he have any in stock down there in Texas? I don't know. I'll figure it out though. But yeah, as soon as we can sell it, we absolutely will. But man, I tell you what, thank you all so much for being here, hanging out with us. Don't forget, if you want more where that came from, to come to Jimmy J's Discord for our after party. So the link is in the chat, and all of you are welcome who are watching to come on over. So I'll be over there in just a little bit. But all right, with that being said, we will see you all same place, same time next week. All right, y'all take care. We'll see you.